Welcome to another edition of the Good Outdoors on 99.5 Kicks Country with Steve, Darrell, and Ronnie. It's everything about the outdoors. Take it away, guys.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo! Hump Day!
Yeah, Hump Day. Welcome to Hump Day here. 99.5 Kicks Country and the Good Outdoors Radio, man. I tell you what, I'm Darrell Nichols. Steve's on his way, slept in this morning, but I got Darrell Sample here to back me up. How you doing, Darrell?
I'm here with you.
Oh, yeah. Man, got it going on this morning. We're going to talk about lots of things. Been looking for stuff to talk about, and first of all, very first thing, I want to send our thoughts and prayers out to the Brooks County families of the teens, the football players that were killed and injured in yesterday's wreck on their way to football practice yesterday. From what I understand, yesterday I hadn't heard any updates. There was 3 teens killed and one seriously injured and life-flighted out yesterday.
Yeah, that was a
update.
Real hard story to read yesterday.
Yeah, it was. So our thoughts and prayers from the Good Outdoors go out to the families and the friends, the students, of the friends at the school of these, the football team, everybody involved in it, and our thoughts and prayers go out there to you guys, and we're gonna keep lifting you up in prayers. All I can say, and if anything we can do, please let us know. I want to start off this morning as I was kind of reading here a little bit. Some, ivory is elephant ivory is a big thing. It's they try to every year to import and export it everywhere. It's an illegal trade, but Kenyan officials have seized ivory disguised as peanuts.
What?
Yeah. Officials at Kenya's port impounded more than 3 tons of illegal ivory. 3 tons, 6,000 pounds of illegal ivory disguised as peanuts for export to Malaysia. The second such seizure there in less than a week. The ivory was seized Monday and has been declared as 240 bags of peanuts. Wow. And they said the ivory was worth more than $700,000, the biggest seizure so far this year. Last week, officials at the port seized a substantial consignment of illegal ivory disguised as sun-dried fish marked for export to Malaysia. So there's a common trend here. It's all going to Malaysia.
Yeah. But it seems like it was not as big time in the news as it used to be. I remember at one time that's all you heard about.
Yeah.
It seems like they're doing a real good job of cracking down on it, but it's still getting done.
I agree. They're cracking down on it, but I just can't help but can't help but think that they're killing all these elephants for this, illegally. Elephants can be killed legally over there, but they're killing some illegally. Evidently a lot of them.
They're just killing them just for those tusks, and that's it.
Yeah, today Kenya is home to only 38,500 elephants, and of course that's dropping. Seems to be by the hundreds every year with all this ivory going missing. So, yeah, I just it's just a tough thing.
Oh, yeah, especially it's kind of, you figure it's hard to kind of catch them. It's big, wide open land out there.
Yeah, that's the problem. We read reports all the time on these poachers sneaking into these huge, like, national wildlife refuge, these big parks, and they're so big over there, so many thousands and thousands and thousands of acres that they can't patrol all of it, at one time. It's impossible. It's impossible to do.
Yeah, I'm saying, I've watched that show they talk about up there in Alaska. Some of the guys up there, how there was just one person that's taking care of thousands of miles worth of land out there by himself.
That's right. And the same way here in the U.S. But luckily, I say luckily, we don't have elephants that we have to guard that big. In Kenya, they're more, I guess, a more poor country. I would say they're a more poor country. They sure don't have the resources to do it. And one thing I did find this morning that I absolutely just loved. Illinois legislatures override Quinn's veto of the concealed carry law. The Illinois House of Representatives spent little time yesterday in voting 77-31 to override anti-gun Governor Pat Quinn's mandatory veto of concealed carry legislation. The Senate held considerable debate, but ultimately voted 41-17 to override Quinn, paving the way for concealed carry. The vote is seen as a serious political setback for Quinn and his attempt to make significant changes to the law passed last week. Governor Quinn was ill-advised to try rewriting the state's concealed carry law to suit his personal anti-gun civil rights agenda, said the Second Amendment Foundation's Alan Gottlieb. While the new statute is not perfect, it's a huge step forward to comply with the Seventh Circuit Court's ruling Moore versus Madigan. And that suit was brought by the SAF to force Illinois to take action on concealed carry legislation. If anybody needs it, Chicago, Illinois needs it. We cover that, quite often. I'm sorry?
I'm just a lost word for what's going on up there part of the country.
No, I mean, we cover it quite often. I said Monday morning there were 65 shootings as of Saturday evening on in Chicago alone. 65 shootings,
And they were probably all concealed weapons too.
Well, I mean, all the criminals up there, all the criminals.
Exactly.
It's the most dangerous, in my opinion, it's the most dangerous city in the world. And now you have a governor, instead of wanting to make his city safer by allowing his citizens to have concealed carry, concealed weapons, he's fighting it down. He's striking it down. He's fighting them every step they take. It's ridiculous.
He supports all the killing that's going on there. That's why.
Yeah, I guess so. I think he thinks it's a form of population control or something like that. I don't know, but
it's how he keeps his legal people under the thumb.
It's absolutely ludicrous. It is really, really just ludicrous to think, you could get away with something like that. Another good story I found. Excuse me, I'm having a little problem this morning. Another good story I found, and I say good story. This was a remarkable one. I've been watching it over the last couple of days. But a woman that was declared dead awakens just before doctors harvest her organs. Really?
Ooh.
Yeah, it says, imagine waking up to see operating room lights and doctors standing over you armed with scalpels and other operating tools. That's exactly what happened to 41-year-old Colleen Burns, who had arrived at the emergency room at St. Joseph's in Syracuse, New York, over a week earlier, suffering a drug overdose. Mistakenly believing Burns to be dead, doctors at the center were about to harvest a woman's organs for transplant before she opened her eyes. Now, I got a problem here. Mistakenly thinking she was dead. What in the heck is wrong with these people? Are they not feel a pulse on her?
I guess not. Well, I know they've had some cases like this before, that there's some of those drugs she's so overdosed that she has no pulse, but her heart and her brain are still working.
Well,
I would hate to be the doctor sitting there.
Yeah, me too. This is actually a 2009 incident, and it's detailed in a recently revealed report from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Also listed mistakes by doctors that led to the terrible event. She had been found unresponsive, likely due to an overdose of Xanax and Benadryl. According to the report, hospital specialists recommended treating her with activated charcoals in order to stop the drugs from being absorbed in her stomach. But the staff failed to follow through with this recommendation. First of all, she was, she overdosed. Well, they didn't follow through with what, to try to help her.
Oh, there, and then, some Xanax. She was so relaxed, that body didn't know. It was in full sleep.
So that's the first mistake they made. Burns eventually spent over a week at the hospital with nothing being done to stop the drugs from being absorbed in her system. She started to suffer from seizures. Those CT scans revealed her brain was normal. Allegedly, nurses also had indicated improvement in Burns' condition, noted she was capable of curling her toes when touched. She could also move her mouth and tongue as well as flare her nose. And despite being on a respirator, Burns was starting to breathe on her own. However, doctors still misdiagnosed Burns with irreversible brain damage. Believed to be for her to be beyond health, Burns' family decided to take her off life support and donate her organs to patients in need. The report maintained that not enough tests and brain scans were performed before the diagnosis. Now, this is scary. This is scary.
Yeah, this is.
And the patient did not suffer a cardiopulmonary arrest as documented and did not have irreversible brain damage. The patient did not meet criteria for withdrawal of care. Just before doctors were about to cut into her, Burns awoke, saving her own life. However, she went on to commit suicide in 2011, and no one has ever filed charges against the hospital for the critical mistakes the doctors made. Really? That's bad.
That is crazy.
You put your hands in these doctors, no matter who you are, no matter your life history. I don't care if you're your own drugs and anything like that. No matter your life history, you still, if you're in there, you deserve the help. The help that you pay for or that you're offered. They deserve. They need to do their job. Is what
someone messed up.
Someone really.
But I'm wondering. It comes down to is those people that was about to do the cutting. I wonder if they were involved in any of that, or if they wasn't. That would make it more. I'm trying to think of me. I'm down there. I'm the doctor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm about to start cutting, and someone wakes up that's supposed to be dead. I don't think I'd ever be around a body again. I'd be done being a doctor.
Yeah, that would be a pretty tough one right there. I don't know. I'd hate to be one of the doctors that diagnosed her as dead and irreversible brain damage and be laying there on the table like you said, and she opens her eyes. Really? I mean, what in the world's going on there?
That's going to freak me out for a long time.
I'd sit there to myself, and I blame myself, because I didn't follow through. I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, some of them do that way. Sometimes the doctors don't.
I don't, it's just hard to put your faith in doctors in New York after something like this. I put my faith in the doctors here that I go to. I do it every day. Every time I go to the doctor, I put my faith in them that they're going to do everything they're supposed to do, everything in their power to either make me well or make sure I'm not sick if it's a checkup, to make sure they check everything they're supposed to check. And knowing this happened, it's just I'm not knocking doctors by no means. Mistakes happen. But this seemed to be many people involved with this mistake.
Oh, yeah. That seemed like there was more than just one person that messed that one up.
It sure does. And then I found another article. A Florida teen fights off an alligator after a bite on the head. Wow.
That's an interesting little title.
Yeah. I'm trying to get down here to the story. That's a pretty tough one there. I don't know. A 17-year-old is recovering after being bitten on the head by an alligator at a Central Florida state park. Andrew Hudson of Winter Springs was swimming Monday. My computer messed up again. You'll have to bear with me, but he was swimming Monday when this alligator come up and attacked him. He was at Little Big Econ State Forest when he kicked what he thought was a log in the water. The object was actually an alligator nearly 10 feet long. It came up behind Hudson and jerked him in the water. He kicked and started punching the gator. And that's what he told me when he was under the water. Hudson says he swam as fast as he could to escape the alligator. He got to the shore. Blood was running from the top of his head. He wrapped the shorts around his head to stop the bleeding, and doctors at the Seminole County Hospital treated him for several puncture wounds. Now, that goes to show you, if you're swimming in the river, lake, or anything like that, and you kick what you think is a log, get out of the water.
Oh, yes.
Get out of there, because something's going on. Hey, we'll be right back. We're going to take a break here on the Good Outdoors. We'll be right back with more stuff. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Here we go again. Every time there's a food plot to be planted, Darrell's nowhere to be found. You see him, Ronnie?
He's probably in the truck eating a dang sandwich.
I'm sitting right here by this tree, and they don't even see me.
Man, that Real Tree AP was designed to blend hunters with their surroundings, not hide them when it's time to work.
I'm so hidden, the scooters can't even find me.
Okay, Darrell, come on. We got to get this stuff planted.
What's that? Hey, stop it.
Real Tree. It's so real, a coyote might pee on it.
Serves you right, you slacker.
The grill might be in storage, but that's what campfires are for. And the backyard party is on hiatus, but that's because everyone is tailgating. Only the seasons change, tastes don't, and when you've got Bud Light Lime, you don't need summer to have a good time. It's the superior drinkability of Bud Light with a splash of 100% natural lime flavor. Look for a Bud Light Lime and find your summer state of mind anytime. It's in the lime. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Lime flavored beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
What in the world is that noise?
Sounds like the transmission's about to come out of my truck.
Transmission? Sounds like Alien versus Predator under there. Let's get it to Ronnie at Eagle Auto Repair.
Ronnie, I got a problem.
Problem? It sounded like Superman fighting the Incredible Hulk.
No, it was worse than that.
Come on, man. This is for real. I ain't got the money to be fixing no big problem.
Chill out, dude. You're at Eagle Auto Repair. You know we'll fix it right and as inexpensive as we can. We only use quality parts, and my guys are some of the best trained technicians in town.
Yeah, but can they stop a fight between Godzilla and King Kong? Because I'm betting that's what they're going to find under there.
Eagle Auto Repair.
321 Lakes Boulevard, Lake Park, Georgia.
Jones Welding and Industrial Supply has been serving South Georgia and North Florida for over 3 decades. With 9 locations in the South, Jones Welding and Industrial Supply is a full-line distributor for all welding and industrial supplies. The Jones mission is to provide quality products at a competitive price in order to supply the best service available. Jones Welding and Industrial Supply has built a reputation for good, honest, old-fashioned service. For a location near you, visit www.joneswelding.com. Jones Welding and Industrial Supply is a proud supporter of the Good Outdoors. Val Optics on Patterson Street in Valdosta, Georgia has been providing 1-hour service for 25 years. From eyeglass repair to eye exams conducted by one of 2 on-site optometrists, Val Optics is there for all of your eyesight concerns. There is no need for an appointment and most insurances are accepted. Val Optics also accepts outside prescriptions. So if you need eyeglass repair or an eye exam, stop by Val Optics at 601 North Patterson Street, Valdosta, Georgia. 25 years in business says it all.
So you need a car, truck, or SUV? Look no further than Midway Auto Emporium at 4189 Bemis Road, Valdosta, Georgia. Cameron and Melissa Tucker has been serving the Valdosta area for over 7 years now. They are a family-owned and operated local business with hometown values and still believe in handshake deals. With a great selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, with a Carfax report on every one of them, along with bank financing at all credit levels and interest rates as low as 1.85% with approved credit. 4189 Bemis Road, or visit their website at midwayautoemporium.com.
You're listening to The Good Outdoors with Steve, Darrell, and Ronnie on 99.5 Kicks Country. Now, let's get back to the fun.
Welcome back this morning to The Good Outdoors. Man, it's great to be here on a Wednesday. Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Wednesday morning here on 99.5 Kicks Country in Valdosta, Georgia. Man, I tell you what, having a good time. Looking at these articles on here that I found, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service boosts state endangered species conservation efforts with $32 million in grants. That's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Tuesday announced nearly $32 million in grants to 20 states to help advance their collaborative efforts to conserve America's rare species. And I can't think of anything better than that. Issued through the Cooperative Endangered Species Conservation Fund, these competitive grants enable states to work with private landowners, conservation groups, and other government agencies to initiate conservation planning efforts and acquire and protect habitat that benefits threatened and endangered species. So that is great. Private landowners play a vital role in conserving our most imperiled species, but they need our help, said U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Director Dan Ash. These grants provide a lifeline to species on the brink by fostering partnerships between federal, state, and local governments, private organizations, and individuals, empowering them to develop creative solutions that drive critical conservation and recovery efforts. This is a great thing because they'll take some of this money and go to these landowners that have these areas where these particular species are endangered and say, hey, we would like to offer to pay you to not have your land developed or to not do anything with your land, but to leave the habitat conducive to these animals or these endangered species. So it's a great thing. It happens all over the United States, and I am so glad they're helping, to keep. They're doing this. And one example, the state of Washington received $2 million to acquire 2,400 acres in a county, including 1 mile of the Lower Grand Ronde River and 3 miles of tributaries that support federally listed bull trout as well as steelhead, interior redman trout, and all kind of other aquatic species. And it's just helping them. Another example is California. We use a grant of $410,000 to support the development of the Sacramento San Joaquin Bay Delta region. It's the largest estuary in the West Coast and supports 750 plant and animal species. Just great things happen with all this money, It's just better and better. Steve's done in the house. I hear him firing up his computer over there.
Better late than never, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. But we're talking about a federal grant yesterday that was issued $32 million to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service boosts the state's endangered species conservation efforts. So it's a good thing. Good things are going on, and they'll use a lot of this money for excellent outdoor activities, to just promote the states and help the states pay for things that they need. And it's just, I can't say enough about it. It's used all over. Take landowners, for instance, the CRP program. It's just some of the same things. Mm-hmm. They take the land and they actually give them, money to not develop their land, not to farm their land, but to keep their land, in the shape that it supports the habitat for the animals. So it's a real good thing.
Yeah, that's right. The thing about conservationists and outdoorsmen and sportsmen, you rarely, if ever, I don't think I've ever heard of any kind of misuse of funds or taking. You know how some charities they may take in $100 million in 1 year, but they may only spend $10 million on actual charity, and the rest of it goes to administrative costs. So they say, that don't happen. And when you're collecting sportsman fees and all, the law dictates exactly where that money must be spent. Exactly. And it's always a good thing to give in that manner, because you can usually be assured that money is going to get where it intends to be.
That's right. You hardly ever hear about misappropriation of funds with something like that. And there's so many things, we take for granted, but some of this money will be used for like our national wildlife refuges. and right on trickle on down to state levels, right on down to state and local county levels. Some of this money can be distributed possibly right here in our own county for Grand Bay Wildlife Management Area, something out there. So
that's right.
Glad to see it's being supported more and more. I also found another one. Minnesota's wolf population remains strong. I actually did not know that Minnesota had a wolf population. I didn't really think about that, but it remains firmly established on Minnesota's landscape. Latest survey results estimate that in Minnesota's wolf range, there are 438 packs, equaling 2,211 wolves last winter, down 710 wolves from the survey 5 years ago. There's a lot more wolves out there than people understand.
Yeah, there's always been a good population of Minnesota. That if you followed college basketball or anything, there's a team called the Minnesota Wolf Pack.
Right.
But the wolves in Minnesota have been prevalent. Wisconsin has not had as many wolves. But the population is lower there, and then of course the wolf population in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan is pretty stout. But Minnesota's carried a good population of wolves.
It says here that results from the 2013 wolf survey continue to demonstrate that Minnesota's wolf population is fully recovered from its once threatened status, and the population is responding naturally to the availability of deer, which is wolves' primary food source. Mm-hmm. So I'm still on the fence about having wolves around. I'm messing with my deer, but it's Mother Nature,
It's okay to have a balanced population. Exactly. It's when you have too many that there's a problem, and that's where we're all, worried about the coyote problem here in Georgia. We're thinking, are there too many of them? Because it's starting, some theories it's saying it's starting to affect the deer population, and of course, the jury's still out on that.
Well, right here, may support that. One of the primary factors influencing the wolf population estimate was a 13% increase in average wolf pack territory size to about 62 square miles. The increase in territory size is likely caused by fewer deer per square mile, which has declined 25% since 2008. Mm-hmm. Now, you can't attribute all that to wolves. You can attribute that to, diseases like we covered yesterday, some of that. Yep. Minnesota had a die off too. Mm-hmm. That 12% decrease in the average number of wolves per pack from 4.9 to 4.3 also contributed to the lower population estimate. So lots of things contributed to this, and DNR is working very closely with it and watching it, and they'll have, they'll institute seasons where they need it, or if they need more longer seasons, more quotas, whatever they need, they'll take care of it.
They'll get it figured out.
Sure, that's their job, and they do it very well. It'd be hard to be a DNR, for me to be a DNR specialist or whatever you want to call it in the state, in any state, trying to tell people how many deer they can kill or how many turkeys they can kill or what they can do.
You're always gonna make somebody mad when you're in that role.
Always.
Well, what gets me intrigued about it is how they get how they track those numbers down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not easy. Back in the middle to late 80s, ABAC did a lot of research up at Piedmont National Wildlife Refuge, mm-hmm. and one of their main ways to do it was spotlighting. They'd take a spotlight out at night, and they'd survey the deer, shining the light to see how many deer's eyes, because the deer move more at night. And then at the same time, they would they'd do studies. They'd shoot the deer, with tranquilizers at night, tag the deer, and different things like that. But there's no easy method. When I was coming in, I was listening to y'all talk, about the ivory thing I saw on the internet last night. Also about that, it's terrible. But trying to defend the vast wilderness over there is like a needle in a haystack. Yep. And all I could think about, and I was going to call in, but I didn't. But all I could think about is equating it to protecting our border here in the United States. People don't, unless you've been there, and I have, unless you've been on that border, you don't realize just how hard it is to protect the border, and just how easy it is for them to walk right across. We literally were on the border. There was a river separating the United States from Mexico. There was a river right in Laredo, Texas. There was a river that was no more than knee deep. It was a swift running river. Mm-hmm. We were on about, I'd say, probably 1,500 acres of land that bordered that river. So we had about a mile of river frontage, just 1 mile. Mm-hmm. I was there for 5 days hunting. I could see Mexico all 5 days. I never saw a border agent. I didn't even see a path where it looked like there was there was a path that a truck drove the border, but you could look at it and tell that it was not happening very often. And I guarantee you that at any time during the day, you had probably about a 99% chance, if you were Hispanic, to be able to walk that river and get to the United States. It's as easy as pie.
Oh, it happens quite often.
And the Kenyan elephant deal, it's the same thing. Your possibility of getting caught shooting an elephant and taking his ivory is about slim to none.
Yep.
And usually the way they get caught is how they got caught. They were trying to ship it somewhere else anywhere.
They don't get caught in the act. You're right. Because it's so big over there, you're not going to get caught shooting the elephant and taking his ivory. The best we can hope for as law enforcement in Kenya is to catch them moving the ivory.
Exactly right.
That's how you can relate it a little bit to the border, crossing problem between the U.S. and Mexico. So
you're exactly right. It's so hard to defend every inch of property. You take a game warden, living right here, just Lowndes County's game warden. He's got the entire county, not just this county. He's got other counties to cover also. He can't be but in one place at a time.
That's exactly right. It's just too big of an area to cover.
That's a lot of woods.
Way too big.
And that's what gets me how they come up with some of these numbers of, they're saying, there's this many deer in this area and stuff.
There's a lot of different ways they do that. They rely on sportsmen to give them, their numbers that they killed and numbers that they seen. They send out surveys. They do the same thing with the turkey population, see how many poults they're seeing every year, how good the hatch is, what the rain is doing to the hatch, what the predators are doing. They rely on sportsmen for a lot of that. Then they do their own. Then at Piedmont National Wildlife Refuge and WMAs that have these quota hunts, these check-in hunts, they know by deer being checked in how many deer are killed. They do it by riding around, staying in the woods, looking themselves, and compile all this data, and then they make the best judgment. And
that's pretty good judgment, because there's so many variables out there.
Yeah, there is, and they pay attention a lot to what sportsmen tell them too. If sportsmen are saying, "Hey, we're not seeing enough does," there's just like happened this year. We're not seeing enough does, not able to kill them, so we got to take some of these doe days out, and that's exactly what's happened. So.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, it's not that they can predict the actual number of deer we have; it's they predict the difference from one year to the next. Is the population up or down? And that's what they do. That's what they do a good job at.
Sure do. Hey, we're gonna run off to a break here on the Good Outdoors. We'll be right back here in about 3 minutes on Hump Day.
The grill might be in storage, but that's what campfires are for. And the backyard party is on hiatus, but that's because everyone is tailgating. Only the seasons change, tastes don't, and when you've got Bud Light Lime, you don't need summer to have a good time. It's the superior drinkability of Bud Light with a splash of 100% natural lime flavor. Look for a Bud Light Lime and find your summer state of mind anytime. It's in the lime. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Lime flavored beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Service. It's a very simple word, but you'd think it's French. At Deep South Sanitation, our service will never be questioned. We are there when we say we'll be there. If there's a couple extra bags by the can, we pick it up. Deep South Sanitation don't care if the lid won't close. All the more reason to dump it. If you're elderly or disabled, the Deep South Sanitation team will get your can, dump it, and put it back. If trash blew out, we don't leave it, we pick it up. Keep the money you pay for sanitation services local by supporting Deep South Sanitation, a locally owned business. Call Carrie Scarborough today at Deep South Sanitation, 229-559-0200.
The Hayhire, Georgia business tradition requires principle, honesty, and integrity. You will find all three and more at Hayhire Automotive on West Main Street in Hayhire, Georgia. Whether it's tires, brakes, oil changes, or any major service on any car or truck, Hayhire Automotive will give you an upfront, accurate estimate with no surprises. Personal, honest, small-town service is what being a Hayhire business is all about. Let us earn your business at Hayhire Automotive on West Main Street in Hayhire, Georgia. Proud supporter of the Good Outdoors.
Hey, this is Judd with T3 Outdoors. T3 Outdoors is Valdosta's newest Blue Buffalo dog feed dealer. We also carry 50-pound, 13% sweet feed for $8.99. But hey, feed isn't all we do at T3 Outdoors. We have one of the best selections of guns in town at some of the best prices. We buy, sell, trade, and consign guns daily. Last but not least, archery season will be here before you know it. We are Valdosta's exclusive Hoyt and Bowtech dealer with 2013 packages starting under $650. Please visit us at T3Outdoors.com to learn more today.
Hello, everyone. Dim the lights. Let's do this. Let's get to it. Let's go.
Introducing the winner of Austin's Idol and receiving a $1,000 Austin's gift card, Mr. Steve Seller.
If you want on a steak, a salad or fish plate, maybe drink a beer with a friend. Come in as you are, it ain't just a bar at the SEC. The good times never end, a basket full of peanuts, and the best part is, it's an addiction you never have to quit. If you need a break, come along with me to Austin's Cattle Company. Oh yeah, to Austin's Cattle Company.
Austin's would like to thank everyone that participated in the contest and helping Austin's to remain an addiction you never have to quit. Congratulations to our winner and thank you from Austin's Cattle Company.
It's the Good Outdoors on 99.5 Kicks Country. Now, let's get back to the fun, talking about everything to do with the outdoors with Steve, Darrell, and Ronnie.
Good morning. Welcome to the Good Outdoors. We're going to try to catch this phone call right quick. Good morning, caller. You're on the Good Outdoors. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Steve. How about you?
We doing good, Coach. What's happening?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to go fishing here in a little bit. I thought
Thought you'd rub in our face.
Sir?
You thought you'd call and rub it in our face.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do that now. No better.
Hey.
We've been kicking around a little bit up here. I think I'm supposed to be down on a radio show tomorrow night down in Valdosta with, Norman Saints' brother, Stephen.
Oh, yeah.
Talk a little football. And so, that's right around the corner, Steve.
Man, it ain't going to be long. I think it's, 6 or 7 weeks for our first game, ain't it?
I can't keep up with time during the day. I can't do it like that.
It's right around the corner. It's not very far off at all.
Did I hear y'all say something about a game warden covering a lot of turf and ground and woods?
Yeah, we were talking about how challenging it is for the game warden to cover his area when you got one game warden in such a big area.
How is it that all over?
Say that again?
How is it that the game warden's always been all over me?
Yeah. I know what you mean there. It don't matter how big area he covers, he knows where I'm at. That's a good point.
It seems like he's always there.
That's right. Yeah, if you need to know where the game warden is, just let Coach Roy climb up in a tree somewhere. He'll be right there, right?
That's about the truth, I think.
Yeah, sometimes it feels that way. Hey, Lowndes High got a pretty good football award notoriety there from the one of the prep magazines voted them the #1 football high school destination in the country in the 2000 period of 2000 to 2010 decade.
Is that right? I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, I said they got it yesterday. It was announced yesterday, so they beat out every high school in the nation as the top program for that decade.
Well, I tell you what, that's an honor.
Yeah,
a big
sure
honor,
is.
and it says volumes. I'll say this for Coach McPherson: when he came in, he's not he's not an elaborate type guy, but he had enough sense to leave Hiram and Bill Cribbs.
Yep.
And he let those guys work. And he came in and said, "I'm going to do this, and I want y'all to just continue on." And that means so much to kids, for them to be able to do the same thing that they've been doing.
It's a routine, you're right. And I think the key to anything, it's like running a business. If you buy a business that's been there for years, you go in there and the parts of that business that are functioning well, you keep them, and then you work on what hadn't been working well, and that's how you improve. And I think Randy's done a fine job in that manner.
Well, basically football is football.
Yep.
And it's what you call it in communication, and just no need to change a whole lot of stuff that somebody's already got something kind of in place, and Milk, quite frankly, has a pretty good program in place.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's pretty important, or it is to me, Well, what I know, Steve, But I like to hunt and fish. I know that much.
I know that too, man. It ain't nothing better than getting out in the good outdoors. We've had a lot of rain here lately that we've had to dodge, but that don't keep us from getting out there and having a good time.
I tell you, listen, we talk about kids being ADD, and about the only two things that I can sit still and do is hunt and fish.
I mean, I ain't got much interest in all that other stuff, do you?
Well, you got to be interested in it, but seriously, that's about the only thing I can sit still. I can't watch. I have to get up and walk.
Oh, I tell you what, I hate worse than anything is having to go to the grocery store or shopping. I can't stand it, man. I cannot stand it.
You can't stand checking out at the line.
That's the truth.
Yeah, you're right about that. But I mean, my wife could go sit there and look at every item in that store and spend hours and hours. The other day, she said, "Let's run to town and get something to eat." And I said, "That sounds good to me." I'm thinking it's going to be an hour trip. 3 hours later, I was still standing in Walmart.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I won't get trapped into that no more.
Now, you know when you're in trouble, don't you, Steve?
How's that?
It's when your wife backs over there and puts her finger up on her cheek and starts nodding.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She got something on her mind. She wanting to move something.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well,
that's the way mine is. I get kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Coach, what about how's your brother doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm hanging in there, ready to get back in the outdoors and do some hunting. I know hunting season's coming up real soon. I'm ready to get out there.
I'm ready to get some kids going. Coach Gay did a great job with our kids this year. When we went out to Texas out there. Of course, we called y'all, but we were really giddy coming back. Having not slept for 2 days, and
oh yeah.
I hardly remember what we talked about.
Well, I know y'all had a good showing out there. We talked about that, and of course we looked it up on the internet after we lost you there with that bad connection. But that was quite an honor. I believe y'all came in 10th place, right?
I'll give you something that I've got now. I've got a tape or film of sunrise out there.
Yeah.
Stars, and you talk about moon bright daybreak.
And
it's I'll get it to you.
Okay. Well, when you come to town to do your radio interview, why don't you give me a buzz and I can meet you before or after or whatever and maybe pick it up.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll try to do it. I'm thinking I come down and go fishing, sometime during the day.
Yeah.
And then be over there, I think, at 7. And but that would be good. That'll work out great.
Might meet you up there at the Smoking Pig for a meal like we had the last time you was in town.
No, I can't eat that.
Well, I tell you what, next Thursday, not this coming Thursday, but the following Thursday, it'd be a good time to meet you at Bubba Jack's Crab Shack. We having a special there where you got buy one, get one free raw oysters. If you're a raw oyster man, we can sit there and fill you up.
I can come back.
All right, we'll make that a date right there now. Coach Roy, we're gonna let you go. We got getting up close to a break here. We got a couple of things to cover, but call me when you're in town.
I'll do that. I'll keep up the good work, man.
Okay,
right,
thanks,
talk
Coach.
See you later.
Bye.
229-253-0995 is the number to call. And I misspoke a little bit just there on the Max Prep Award that the Lowndes Vikings got. It was they named the top 15 Georgia football dynasties, not national. It was the top 15 Georgia, and they were number 1 in the state. Beat out 15, or I say beat out. They named the top 15, and just to run down the list real quick, just because there are some other area notables on here at number, and I'm not going to say all of them, but the ones that are near closer to us, I'm going to tell you. In the decade, like I said, from let me make sure it's from 2000 to 2010. I think that's what they're saying.
They said 2003 to 2012.
Okay, so they're saying the past 10 years is what it is, not the decade. The past 10 years, top football programs in the state of Georgia, regardless of classification. Number 15, Thomas County Central, at number 15 with a record of 91-31. Colquitt County, 71-50, No state championship, 71-50. The Thomas County Central has 3 state championships during that time, so that's a darn good show. Number 12, our Valdosta Wildcats. No state championships, but a 74-44 record. Let's see here. Going on down the list at number 4, north side of Warner Robins, 124-11. That's pretty dang impressive.
Yeah, it is.
2 state championships.
Wow.
Not surprisingly, at number 3, you got the Camden County Wildcats, 3 state championships and a record of 123-13. That's pretty dang good, too.
Yes, it is.
And then at number 1, our Lowndes Vikings at 107-21 with a state championship count of 3 during the past 10 years. They put interesting. They put a graphic on here on their opponents' record. Each team's opponents' record. The Lowndes County opponents' record over that time was 906 wins and 591 losses. Second only to the opponent's record of Buford, which was 1,026, 671, and 5. They've got 6 state championships during that time, a 136-10 record. So it's kind of, I don't know how they ultimately based this. I'm sure the experience, the stadium experience, probably gave Lowndes the nod. But I guarantee you that these people in Buford, they got a pretty good argument.
Dang right, they do.
With 6 state championships.
Well, this is where they come right here. It says is based on wins, state titles, and strength of schedule.
Yes, well, that's where I'm getting at. Strength of schedule, obviously, based on their own thing here, the Buford strength of schedule is better than the strength of schedule that Lowndes, over 100 and something more wins from the opponents of Buford. So be interested to talk to somebody about how they picked that. Now, of course, me being a Lowndes alumni, I'm glad that we edged them out, and I think that it should be that way.
That's right.
And then also, if you look at it, Buford had a few more games played in the last 10 years than Lowndes. And how the way numbers go, I think that's where they're judging on. There's different, that schedule, who they're playing. Then, Buford may have played a whole bunch of other, just like some scrimmage games, just to fill some schedule time, give another team a chance to play against someone tough. So those probably don't matter as much.
I don't know.
And usually when Lowndes stacks their schedule up, they're playing everybody tougher than them. So they're wanting to be challenged. So their schedule will be a lot tougher.
Well, the strength of schedule, would have a lot to do with it. It's just like in college football. But again, looking at the compiled list, I'd have to say that the strength of schedule for Buford is tougher than Lowndes' when you look at the record of the opponent. They lost 300. Actually, they won more and they lost more. So it's hard to say. Who cares as long as our team's on top?
Lowndes is on top. That's all that matters to me.
May it be that way the next 10 years.
Exactly right, man. We got, we're going to have tough teams and tough games to play every single year. So the coaches do a great job. Sure do.
Yeah, I don't know if you covered. I didn't hear you cover it, but again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the 3 Brooks County High School students that were killed in the tragic car wreck yesterday. I tell you, I can't imagine that. No, it's a tragedy, and we're praying for the families for the loss. We're also praying for the young man that's in the hospital in Tallahassee. So we hope he recovers fully, and
all the friends, the teammates, everyone involved with it.
Yeah, and the schools got counselors involved and on hand to talk to you. So y'all keep them in your prayers, and we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back here in 3 minutes. You listen to the Good Outdoorz Radio Show.
With over 40,000 machines in the field, the pro's choice is Dixie Chopper. Be a pro, buy a chopper. Built right here in America with one simple goal. Build a mower that cuts more grass and doesn't break when you use it. Be a pro, buy a chopper. With Chopper's price, performance, and reliability guarantee, make the smart choice. Be a pro, buy a chopper.
We're running out of time. We're drawing the line. This is our battle cry.
Huntin' is Good TV is an action-packed hunting show with a mission to secure our hunting heritage. Join Steve Nichols, Trey Weatherington, and Neil Armati each week as they hunt across the U.S. and Canada with pro athletes, actors, wounded warriors, kids, and regular old Joes who know hunting is good. Huntin' is Good TV airs on Pursuit Channel and is available on Dish Network Channel 240 and DirecTV Channel 604. For more info, visit huntingisgoodtv.com and follow on Facebook at facebook.com/HIGTV show. You can also use your high-speed internet connection to watch online by logging on to filmon.com at the airtimes posted on our website. And remember, hunting is good.
This is our battle cry.
There's only one place in Valdosta if you want the freshest seafood in town. It's Bubba Jack's Crab Shack at 1700 West Hill Avenue. They got wild Georgia shrimp cooked about any way you could want it. Fried, peel and eat, grilled, or buffalo style. They got a Wednesday night oyster special at $7.99 a dozen, and that ain't no mistake. $7.99 a dozen, Wednesday night only. Bring the kids with you, and if they don't eat seafood, get them some chicken tender baskets or hamburger hot dog. And do not forget to try the fresh cut, hand-dipped onion rings at Bubba Jack's Crab Shack, 1700 West Hill Avenue, Valdosta.
So, Dawson, is Dad still ill about you calling him out on his shooting ability?
I don't think so, but I have seen him on the range a lot more lately.
Dad always says practice makes perfect.
That's what he says, but I don't think it works for adults.
Why do you say that?
Well, from the look of the scorecard, it's making it worse.
Dawson, bring me some more shotgun shells.
Okay, Dad.
If you need some practice, come by Southwind Clays and Quail on the Quitman Highway just past the river headed towards Quitman. With a top-notch clubhouse, a 5-stand, sporting clays range, as well as a rifle and pistol range, Southwind has what you need to succeed. World-class quail hunting is also available with some of the finest bird dogs around.
Dad sure shoots a lot.
Yeah, if he keeps this up, Mom's gonna be mad.
Why is that?
Because he's spending all Mom's shopping money on shotgun shells.
It's the Good Outdoors on 99.5 Kicks Country. Now, let's get back to the fun, talking about everything to do with the outdoors with Steve, Darrell, and Ronnie.
Welcome back this morning to the Good Outdoors. I have found one thing that you will never have to worry about me doing, and it's an eye-catching new, basically glass platform at Austria's.
I saw that last night.
It's over at one of Austria's glaciers, and it's. You walk out on a ledge 1,300 feet above the snow-covered cliffs. Really?
On a glass floor.
Yeah, on a glass floor and
I'll
everything.
be there.
And I can't see it. I honestly cannot. But I'm looking at the pictures. Spectacular, beautiful views. But I would much rather. You got to walk over to the country's highest suspension bridge just to get there. Mm-hmm. And this thing was just built. It has a picture of it up there being built, and. There's no way I couldn't build it. I couldn't go out there on it. I don't want nothing to do with it. But send all the pictures you got.
Yeah, there's one picture, and there's that. I think it's it may be the one you got pulled up there. I don't know, but there's one on there. There's about 8 or 9 pictures. One is absolutely stunning. The view from that thing is absolutely incredible to me. But yeah, I would do it. I mean, that's not something I'm going to put on my bucket list to do. But if it was here in Hayhire, I would go out there and check it out. I'd have to. It's I don't have a fear of heights, as you well know.
I don't have a fear of heights. I got a fear of falls.
Yeah, but that would be intense right there. That's cool. That'd be something I'd like to look at.
I've worked at some high heights in my life, but the older I get, the smarter I get.
Yeah, I've often wondered that about you because you were a little bit jumpy in a tree stand a lot of times if it gets very high up off the ground. And I know that you've worked in high places, and I've always wondered, now how in the hell did he pull that off? Because I bet that the metal up there that you were working on and holding on to had dents in it. Yeah.
Well, a lot of times, but I'm tied off more. I say more. I'm tied off in a deer stand also. But as I've gotten older, I've gotten more round, and my balance has not. It's not as good as it used to be.
Your center of gravity has shifted.
But that's why I said you said a glass platform. I'll be all right.
No, I say
now
this.
If I had an edge to look over, now that's where I wouldn't do.
I say that. I mean, I would go out on this in a heartbeat. Honestly, would. I love places like that. I love going up on places like. It's not. it's a scary thing. Don't get me wrong, and you're a little apprehensive. But I put my faith in the people that built this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people put their faith in a lot of things built, and they collapse in the water, like in Florida and Miami here a while back. And my luck, I'd be one standing out there. But no, it's a beautiful view, and I actually would go out there on it in a heartbeat. I'd be one leading the way. Go to it. I would love to see
because the views with your own eyes, it cannot. The pictures wouldn't be able to do it.
No, can you just imagine the wind? There's the wind up there is pretty strong. And I've been 200 something feet, almost 300 feet in the air before in a crane. And I just know the wind is a lot worse up there. But
I don't know the highest.
Nice.
I was trying to think when you said. I was trying to think the highest I've been. Obviously other than an airplane, I've been 7 miles up, but. As far as just being out in the open, the highest point I've been, I don't know. I know that it probably ain't real high. I mean, I've been in hotel balconies, and all, but I'm talking about, like in a kind of a semi-dangerous situation, like on a crane or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how long. Now, I do know now. It just hit me. I think the highest I've been, I down at Fernandina. No, it was Cocoa Beach a long time ago. We got down there playing a softball tournament, and we were downtown there, and they had bungee jumps and things like that. And they had one of those things that you strap in with a partner there, and it pulls like a Wild Adventures that pulls you way up. But I guess that'd be the highest I've ever been right there. But it's just a weird feeling. It's not necessarily scary. It's just nervous because it's not natural, I mean, that's what makes you nervous. But my biggest fear has never been that of heights. My biggest fear in life has always been the fear of losing my trigger finger. Mm-hmm. I've never wanted to lose my trigger finger. And a Tampa police chief.
That's one of the story, because I saw that this morning, but the headline just said chief. And I'm
Tampa Police Chief Jane Castor injured her trigger finger in a boating mishap. It was revealed at a press conference. The accident happened Sunday while Castor was lowering her boat off of a boat lift. When a belt on the boat motor became stuck, she reached up to the motor, became distracted, and before she knew it, she had put the tip of her trigger finger in there, and it got cut off at the first knuckle. Yowza. She then started practicing with she admitted reaching into the motor was not a good idea. She then started practicing with a revolver to build the strength up in her middle finger, which is now taking the place of her trigger finger. So
let me tell you, I can feel for her because about 10 years ago, you remember this, I injured two of my fingers. One of them was my trigger finger. The other one was my middle finger. And I actually had to shoot my rifle that year, mostly with my middle finger, because during the winter it would get stiff, and eventually had surgery on it and did lose some mobility in that finger still to this day, but I can use it. And the problem was I could use it in the winter, but it was really stiff and had very little feeling in it. And still to this day, the feeling is not like it is, but I can use it now. So I feel for her. That was, that's what I told that doctor before he'd done the surgery on it. He said, look, I can fix it to a certain extent and do this and that. I said, look here, you got to fix it before turkey season. That's all I care about it. The surgery was in January and I was good to go in March. So.
Yeah, I cut my finger working here a while back, and it's been about 3 years ago now, but it's still numb on the side I cut it on, but I have no problems there. But there's so many nerve endings in your fingers. But the Chief Castor, she's kept a good attitude about the whole thing. She's been the brunt of jokes, about the chief of police not having a trigger finger and that kind of thing. But she even started joking about her retirement dreams of becoming a hand model had been dashed. So we're glad it was just your finger, Chief, or at least the tip of your finger.
You dang right.
Could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse,
Moving equipment, machinery, that sort of thing. You can really get into some bad situations with that. You got to know what you do.
But at the same time, why don't you just learn up to swap up and shoot with left hand?
Well, I've shot left-handed before, but let me tell you, it's not comfortable. You got to learn, and you said the big word there. You have to learn to do it.
It's like you train another
finger. Let me tell you this.
go
from shooting with your trigger finger to shooting with your middle finger and see just how it messes with your accuracy. You're not used to it. It's not natural. Same way if you go from right-handed to left-handed. Yeah, you need to practice more. And I actually had to practice with my middle finger some. And it didn't bother me a lot, but there, it could have. Long range, I don't know that I could have done a long-range shot, 200 yards or more that year.
This is amazing. You go down one finger and how it can throw your shot off.
It sure does. But, yeah, moving equipment is terrible. If you don't believe it, Just look at the 50-foot rogue wave that hit a crab boat in the Bering Sea on the Discovery Channel's Deadliest Catch. A 50-foot rogue wave come and hit. They had one of the crab pots on board, and it come along and hit the side of the boat. Man, the guys were no warning, and it just almost washed them off the deck. Took the crab pot they were preparing, took it over the side, took it out of there. So you got to, that's a hard life to live right there, man. Being a crab fisherman, that's terrible. But these guys almost lost their lives, and right after the video, right after the wave, they were right back to work.
I got an interesting one. What kind of tape measure did they use to measure that wave?
Well, I don't know. I guess they look, how
one that
tall
was
the
at
boat
least
is.
50 feet long.
It had to be 50 foot tall. It had to be 50 foot tall.
That rogue waves kind of where they come from, you reckon? It's almost like it don't make sense that there's, rogue wave. It's one wave. Usually in the ocean you got a series of waves. Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering, the ocean being so vast, is something falling out of the sky making a big splash, but there'd be two sides, or actually no, to be a circle, there'd be a lot more rogue waves, and maybe they just kind of peter out a lot of times before they hit anything. But it's a crazy
this last
thing.
time I was out there fishing and filming with these guys, I remember that you'd have small waves coming on, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, you'd go from a 1 foot to a 4 foot. That's my version of a rogue wave, and it wasn't a rogue wave, but it would absolutely rock the boat. You're standing there for 5 or 6, 7, 10 minutes, whatever how long it is, and you're rocking with the boat on a steady rock. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, this bigger wave comes and throws you totally off. And I just, I don't spend enough time on a boat to be used to it. So,
yeah.
There's a lot of boats crisscrossing in that water out there. And remember the pond thing: drop your rock in. If you drop in multiple ones, it keeps on going. And so as long as there's something to bounce back and keep it going, it's going to keep moving.
I don't know.
Yes, that's why I don't think there's a such thing as a tide. This whole tide thing, I think, is just a bunch of bull crap.
And that's too. As we're spinning, the water's moving.
It's a slosh effect.
Yep.
It's the slosh effect. If you drop a ball in a tub of water, the waves bounce back and forth. They go from one side to the next. The ocean's so vast that years ago, when a meteor hit in the ocean, it created the waves. It created a slosh effect. And while the tide's in over here, overseas, it's out, and vice versa, because it's sloshing back and forth. The moon ain't got nothing to do with it. You can blow the moon right out of the sky. Hey, good news for Twinkies hoarders.
What?
The Twinkie news this week.
What?
Not only are Twinkies coming back to the store shelves on Monday, but once they're there, they almost have twice the shelf life that the old Twinkies did.
Dog.
Twice? Didn't they have like a shelf life of forever anyway?
They don't need a shelf life.
Significantly longer. The 26-day shelf life of the past is gone, replaced by 45-day shelf life. A long shelf life for the cream-filled sponge cake is part of the mythology of the iconic snack brand. A 2012 Super Bowl ad for Chevy pickup trucks made fun of the predictions of the end of the world later that year, suggesting only Chevy trucks and Twinkies would survive the looming apocalypse. So, get your Twinkie start money, people. We're going to take a break. You listen to The Good Outdoors on 99.5.
Attention Outdoor Nation. Adel Outfitters, located at exit 39 on I-75 in Adel, Georgia, has over 18,000 square feet of outdoor unbelievability just waiting on you. Specializing in a wide range of outdoor supplies for everyone, including hunting, fishing, shooting, kayaking, camping, Little League, clothing, knives, boots, you name it, Adel Outfitters has it. They also have that personal one-on-one attention that you just might not be getting from some of the big boxes, and Adel Outfitters has a whole lot less overhead, so you'll be surprised at the deals. So come see us now at Adel Outfitters, exit 39, Adel, Georgia. Woo-wee! Sweet Tea's Smokehouse on South Hutchinson Avenue, Adel, is the bomb. You ain't had good old South Georgia barbecue if you ain't been to Sweet Tea's Smokehouse. Ribs, chicken, pork, beef, good grief, this is some fine eating. And it ain't called Sweet Tea's for nothing. Ice cold sweet tea and good old barbecue plate with all the trimmings is what living in the South is all about. Head up Highway 41 north towards Adel. Swing into Sweet Tea's Smokehouse for lunch or dinner. Great southern barbecue like it's supposed to be. And don't forget some of that fine Brunswick stew. Woo-wee!
Justamere Farm is a full boarding, training, and lesson facility conveniently located on Valdale Road in Hayhire. Justamere Farm offers a facility like no other in the area with many amenities to meet all your equine needs, whether it's riding, training, or boarding. If riding is your passion, Justamere has you covered with an indoor arena, a large lighted outdoor arena with an alleyway, a large jump course arena, a round pen for training, trails, and access to dirt roads. Private and shared lessons are available, so give Justamere Farms a call today at 229-460-2331.
Wow, look at Bob trimming the grass.
He's so fast. I know. And that mower is so big.
And it's got a huge deck.
And it cuts the long grass with deep roots so easily.
Yeah, Bob's a bad boy.
When you want to cut grass like a champion, get yourself a Bad Boy mower from Nashville Tractor. Nashville Tractor carries an exclusive line of Bad Boy zero-turn mowers. See them now at Nashville Tractor in Valdosta and in Nashville.
Brigman and Brigman Cabinets in Hayhira, Georgia specializes in custom-built cabinets. You can come in and sit down with our staff and start from scratch to develop the perfect cabinet layout. Or bring in your plans and start there. From design to installation, Brigman and Brigman can help you every step of the way. Estimates are always free, and your satisfaction is our goal. Whether it's a remodel, a spec house, or your custom-built dream home, give Brigman and Brigman Cabinets in Hayhira a call at 229-794-2108 to set up an appointment.
The Hayhire, Georgia business tradition requires principle, honesty, and integrity. You will find all three and more at Hayhire Automotive on West Main Street in Hayhire, Georgia. Whether it's tires, brakes, oil changes, or any major service on any car or truck, Hayhire Automotive will give you an upfront, accurate estimate with no surprises. Personal, honest, small town service is what being a Hayhire business is all about. Let us earn your business at Hayhire Automotive on West Main Street in Hayhire, Georgia. Proud supporter of the Good Outdoors.
WKAA, Willacoochee, Valdosta. Another hour of Valdosta's best country music kicks off now. 99.5
Kicks Country.
It's the Good Outdoors on 99.5 Kicks Country. Now, let's get back to the fun, talking about everything to do with the outdoors with Steve, Darrell, and Ronnie.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo! Hump Day!
Does anybody know what day it is?
It's Wednesday.
Hump Day! I love it, man. I love it. I tell you what, we've talked about being movie critics and volunteering to be movie critics here local. I've got one I want to see. It's the return of the Chucky. Don't forget Chucky. Curse of Chucky trailer. Resurrection. Tackling killer doll. Yeah. Yeah, that's old Chucky. He was a bad guy. Hi, I'm Chucky. Want to play?
That was the most
friend to the end.
That was the most. If you watch it now, back then when it first come out, you thought, man. But now you look at it and you think, good night. How can that scare anybody? Because it looks so unreal,
But wait till it comes out now.
It'll have some special effects now that'll make your hair
my
stand
son will not go anywhere during Halloween. If a store has anything to do with Chucky, he would not go in the store. He's so scared of it.
I used to wouldn't either. No, Chucky, it's funny how things like that associate with you every day, because I could see a Chucky doll now, and that's the first thing I think about. Like, really, I don't think I want that thing in my house, but I mean, I would, but it's human nature. You think about it.
I've never watched it.
You hadn't.
No.
And there's like three of them. There's Chucky, Bride of Chucky, and then Seed of Chucky.
I've never watched it. I mean, it's not that I'm just not a big horror film guy. I mean, I watch them, and if there's just nothing else on, but it's just not my thing.
I could never understand the Chucky thing. This is his little 2-foot doll. How in the hell can he grab people, a grown person, and throw them on the ground? Really?
Yeah, that's what I always like about it.
Attack me, really? I could never understand.
Well, if he's alive, he's obviously got some serious powers to start with.
Superhuman baby doll strength.
He probably can use mental telepathy to catapult you across the room.
Some of the things he does, he uses the things around them to kill them. And that was what was so interesting. Like the one.
Bring it on, Chuck. I will whoop his ass.
I'm telling you. I guarantee you, man. I just never could understand. He must have had superhuman or super doll strength or whatever you want to call it, because he could take grown people and make them fall on the ground.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Oh, and then that was after he got beat around, tossed around, stomped on. He
knocked
still
the
kept
stuffing
around
out of him.
Yeah.
He's still going, boy.
First thing I'm going to do when get him on the ground is I'm going to take his head off his shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Just take the stuffing out of him.
I think
he got nothing left.
I think his strategy is he relies on the element of surprise. I mean, think about it. If you're sitting there in your room one night in your bed alone and you start hearing some noises and stuff, you hop up and you flip the light on and you see this demonized doll talking to you, you're going to be in a state of shock that you're not going to be able to do anything. You're going to take a knife and stab you and it'll be over. It's not that you can't fight back and beat him. It's just you have been so shocked and you froze. You're like, am I seeing this? Am I dreaming? And by the time you figured out, you're dead.
No, I'm going to go back to sleep for one. If I ever wake up and see a demonized doll talking to me, I know I got to be asleep because it just ain't going to happen.
You know, talking about hearing noises and stuff, I don't know what it is, but if I'm either gotten older and don't care or lazy, whatever, but I hear something go bump in the night, and it don't bother me. I lay there and I think, well, if somebody's breaking in, they're probably going to get me anyway. But more than likely, what I'm hearing ain't got nothing to do with a break-in, so I've got two choices. Either lay here and take a chance
go back to sleep,
or get your tail up and go look, and I always choose to go back to sleep. So it's worked so far.
I do the same thing. Michelle says, what was that? I don't know. Get up and go see.
Yeah.
It don't scare me. What in the world? Why do I care?
Yeah, Billy's like that. Go in. What's that? Go in there and look. I ain't going there to look at it. You go look.
One thing about it, somebody breaks in my house while I'm there or not there to rob me, they're going to feel so bad, they're going to go somewhere else and get some stuff and bring it to me.
Yeah, they're going to think, why did I pick this house?
They say, man, this guy needs it more than me.
Bad miscalculation here.
Well, I'm so bad, they're not even going to pick my house.
Yeah, I know it.
Oh, man.
I was looking here on this, government and regulations and all that. We all think, most all of us say we're just overregulated, overburdened, overtaxed. Well, this poor old magician out in Ozark, Missouri, the government is just wearing him out with regulations and things, and it's mostly centered around one trick where he pulls his rabbit out of his hat. That's an age-old trick. The article, I'll read some of it here. It says, some call it harebrained. That's just a pun on it. The federal government is mandating one of Ozark's magicians to provide an emergency disaster plan for his rabbit. It is just one of the long lists of requirements that Marty Hahn, who goes by Marty the Magician, has to go through to keep pulling his rabbit, Casey, out of a hat. Yeah. Let's get these books out of the way, exclaims Hans as he completes the trick. There she is, the star of the show, Casey. Each year, Casey and Hahn perform 300 to 400 shows. They perform at schools, festivals, parties, libraries, encouraging good, clean fun, and usually have a positive message. We have a bully prevention topic. We encourage reading, and we have a good skit on nutrition. It's something the kids love. It's a great rewarding thing. Well, his rewarding job comes with federally mandated requirements by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. In 2005, Hans said he started jumping through hoops held by the federal requirement over his 3-pound rabbit.
Wow.
He has a yearly license fees. He has to go to the vet once or twice a year. He had to read a rule book of 111 pages, go through surprise inspections, and submit travel plans to the USDA if he goes on the road longer than 48 hours. He says it's just unnecessary and ridiculous, but it's all part of the compliance with the Animal Welfare Act. And he said he thought it was hilarious at first, and then he looked over it a little more carefully and thought this is going to be a ton of work, and they're really, really serious about it. And it's just gotten so overburdened and so much that he's seriously considering ditching the trick. I mean, you can get up there, and there ain't no regulations now when you get up there and do the saw the man in half trick.
Right.
But mess with a rabbit, and you got the full weight of the Department of Agriculture on you.
That's something else, ain't it?
Yeah, we're messing with our wildlife.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can take things too far too, and I don't know.
Here's a little something that the very first when I hadn't even read the article, I looked at the headline, and I immediately thought of your one of your daughters, and I can't remember which one it is, but I think you'll probably be able to elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
The thing says toddler buys something on eBay. Sorella Stout bought a 1962 Austin Healey Sprite car on eBay last month. She's only 14 months old.
Oh my gosh, really?
But she got the deal. She bought the car for $225. But that reminds me of one of yours. I remember back, somehow she had gotten Dad's credit card. Caitlin. She got on the computer and went and ordered her some stuff. But now she wasn't 14 months old. I think she was a little older than that.
She's probably about 10 or
10.
11,
Yeah,
12,
probably 10,
something
like that. But yeah, she said, I'm going to order me some stuff. But this 14-month-old, man, she got the deal of the century, bought an Austin Healey for $225. And they decided to keep it.
Sound like a good deal, I guess. I don't know. I found one here in South Africa. There's a zoo claims to have the world's first live tweeting badger. Honey badgers are a mean animal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
And he already has 6,600 followers on or tweeters or Twitters or whatever you call them tweeting things. I guess you follow them on Twitter. I can't even say it right. But it's a funny little thing to watch the article. A dang badger is a mean animal. No animal in the wild where badgers are wants to mess with the badger. Lions, tigers, bears, it doesn't matter. None of them mess with the badger.
I'd like to see a fight between a wolverine and a badger. I think that'd be
the wolverine is supposed to be the meanest in the world.
And he's kind of like a badger, just a little bigger. But yeah, badger is mean. I remember being up in Michigan in the UP there, and there was a badger out there, and my father-in-law Jerry, we didn't go nowhere near it. He said the last thing you need to do is go over there and get anywhere near that thing, because and they're not real big. They're about the size of I don't know, probably a beagle, maybe a little bigger than a beagle. But they're ferocious pound for pound. They'll rip you a new one.
They've got this one, and what they do, the staff at the place just tweet. They got 6 motion sensors in this big cage area, and he's got a huge area to play in there. And he goes walking around looking, and the staff, they come up with witty comments to make, and it's pretty funny. So one of them was the badger tweeted, "A rat is thinking about climbing into my enclosure. So I don't feel much like entertaining, but I wouldn't mind a snack." So this thing's like that. It's pretty funny, but a badger is pretty tough. But yeah, a wolverine. Whoo, man, those are some mean animals.
I did a paper in college on the wolverine, and I've since lost all that knowledge out of my noggin. That was 20-something years ago. But he is the most ferocious animal in North America.
Yes, sir. Hey, let's take this phone call right quick. Good morning, caller. You're on the Good Outdoors.
What's going on, boys?
What's happening?
Little Shannon from Ray City.
I hear you. What's going on? Is it wet in Ray City? Is it? Yeah, you got a bad signal there. We can't hardly hear you.
That's better. That's better.
Got you now. What's going on over there?
Well, I just want to let y'all know. I just come home from case, man. Went down there to Hump, Florida.
You probably gonna have to hang up and call back, because we
got a bad connection again.
Yeah, we give it a little bit, and maybe get a better. All we know is you went to Florida to do something. So call back and let us know the rest of the story. We're on the edge of our seat.
I'll call you.
229-253-0995 is the number to call. So give us a shout.
Yeah, I actually pulled some stuff up on wolverines, and a wolverine is a mean animal. They kill prey, such as adult deer that are many times larger than itself. They prey species include porcupines. Anything that can kill a porcupine is a pretty bad animal anyway. Some things can hurt you.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. That's a whole other thing. I'd love to see somebody tackle a porcupine.
Let's try him again right quick before we go to break. Hey, man, you got it better now?
Is it any better, boys?
I think we got you now. How you doing?
Pretty good. How y'all boys?
Good. Doing good. So what'd you do down in Florida?
We went down there to Longboat Key down in by Sarasota.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
We went down there and we took them youngers out fishing. We had a good some kind of time.
Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing better than that. Get the kids outdoors, get them fishing. Did y'all just fish? Y'all do, or is there a scalloping area down there?
Well, no, we just fished down there. Met my brother-in-law down there and had us a whole big time. We took the kids out and showed them how to kayak fish and stuff like that.
I hear you.
Had a ball catching them old trout and all that stuff in the bay. We had a good time, man. Caught some sheepheads and caught a bunch of pinfish.
Yeah, pinfish are abundant out there, aren't they?
You can use them for bait, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we was doing. We'd string net them old pinfish and got us a bunch of mullet on it's Friday. We got a bunch of mullet and cooked them up. But we had a whole big time. The youngest had a big time. Can't wait to go back.
Man, ain't nothing like that. That sounds like a good time when you're sitting there describing it. I can just picture you out there doing it. It makes me want to go.
Yeah, we had a really good time. We get the kids fixed up and finished fixing where they can't hardly hold their head up. And then we commenced kind of getting them old cold Coronas.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. It'll run for the border there.
Yes, sir.
You know,
I just want to
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I think the key, to getting a kid engaged and involved in the good outdoors is to take them. I mean, that sounds crazy and simple, but if they don't know anything about it, then they just don't know. But if you take them and let them experience it to make an impact, and they'll want to do it. They'll want to do it the rest of their lives.
You're exactly right. The more I take them, this is the first time they've ever went saltwater fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I've always took them, like I've told you over several months there, I'm teaching them how to use artificial bait in freshwater. And they're actually, doing really amazing. I've sent y'all a couple of pictures of my boy there that caught them big old bass with me. And
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking up. Their kids are so smart these days. They don't really, once they do it, they're hooked.
Yep, you're right. Once they do it, they're hooked.
But you got to get them out of the house to do it.
That's right.
And sometimes that's hard enough just to get them out of the house to go do it, depending on their age now.
And that was my biggest thing. Come on, let's go fishing. Well, we'd rather play Xbox. No, get your butt up. Let's go fishing.
If I'd have told my daddy that, he'd have took a baseball bat and broke my Xbox.
Yeah, the Xbox would have been gone.
Well, matter of fact, I probably still couldn't sit down.
Yes, right.
Amen.
Yeah, that wouldn't even been an option in our house.
Well, and a good thing about it, man, my brother-in-law told me right before I left, he had a surprise for me in a month. And yesterday he called me and told me what it was.
What is it?
He was taking a charter boat out of Lone Boat and taking me out deep sea fishing.
Nice.
I hear you. That's That's a nice one.
Can't wait.
That is a nice one there.
I done told my boss, I was like, yeah, I know I just took vacation, but here shortly, taking a nut.
You going on a party boat, or is it going to be a small boat, or do you know?
He told me he goes out 6 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's real good friends with the captain.
Okay.
I don't know much after that, but he said the boat right there, you can sleep on it for a couple of days if you need to.
That sounds like you in good hands then. And matter of fact, if y'all down a man, give us a call. We might fill that spot.
Dang right.
Hands on.
All right. Appreciate you calling, man. Hanging in there.
Man, y'all have a good day, and y'all don't work too hard.
No, we ain't going to do that.
Later, y'all.
Thank you. 229-253-0995 is the number to call. And man brought up Corona, so I'm going to tell you something about a little bit of a beer news here when we come back. You listen to the Good Outdoors on 99.5. Service. It's a very simple word, but you'd think it's French. At Deep South Sanitation, our service will never be questioned. We are there when we say we'll be there. If there's a couple extra bags by the can, we pick it up. Deep South Sanitation don't care if the lid won't close. All the more reason to dump it. If you're elderly or disabled, the Deep South Sanitation team will get your can, dump it, and put it back. If trash blew out, we don't leave it, we pick it up. Keep the money you pay for sanitation services local by supporting Deep South Sanitation, a locally owned business. Call Carrie Scarborough today at Deep South Sanitation, 229-559-0200.
When I was in an automobile accident, I was working with the other driver's insurance company, and I felt they were trying to take advantage of me. The insurance company offered me a lowball settlement which didn't compensate me for any of my medical bills, loss of income, or pain and suffering. The insurance company never thought I would hire a lawyer. I called Carl Fulp to help with my problem.
Call Carl, 242-1434.
Carl Fulp is a trial lawyer in Valdosta who works hard to get his clients the compensation they deserve.
Call Carl, 242-1434.
If you want an attorney with experience and courtroom success to work to get you the best possible results,
call Carl, 242-1434.
Whether it's a car wreck, medical malpractice, a slip and fall, some other accident, or a workers' comp claim.
Call Carl, 242-1434.
For professional and friendly service, contact Carl Fulp at 2935 North Ashley Street in Valdosta. Injured? Need legal help?
Call Carl, 242-1434.
Or visit fulplaw.com.
Hey, this is Judd with T3 Outdoors. T3 Outdoors is Valdosta's newest Blue Buffalo dog feed dealer. We also carry 50-pound, 13% sweet feed for $8.99. But hey, feed isn't all we do at T3 Outdoors. We have one of the best selections of guns in town at some of the best prices. We buy, sell, trade, and consign guns daily. Last but not least, archery season will be here before you know it. We are Valdosta's exclusive Hoyt and Bowtech dealer with 2013 packages starting under $650. Please visit us at T3Outdoors.com to learn more today.
There's only one place in Valdosta if you want the freshest seafood in town. It's Bubba Jack's Crab Shack at 1700 West Hill Avenue. They got wild Georgia shrimp cooked about any way you could want it. Fried, peel and eat, grilled, or buffalo style. They got a Wednesday night oyster special at $7.99 a dozen, and that ain't no mistake. $7.99 a dozen, Wednesday night only. Bring the kids with you, and if they don't eat seafood, get them some chicken tender baskets or hamburger or hot dog. And do not forget to try the fresh cut, hand-dipped onion rings at Bubba Jack's Crab Shack, 1700 West Hill Avenue, Valdosta.
Justamere Farm is a full boarding, training, and lesson facility conveniently located on Valdale Road in Hayhire. Justamere Farm offers a facility like no other in the area with many amenities to meet all your equine needs, whether it's riding, training, or boarding. If riding is your passion, Justamere has you covered with an indoor arena, a large lighted outdoor arena with an alleyway, a large jump course arena, a round pen for training, trails, and access to dirt roads. Private and shared lessons are available, so give Justamere Farms a call today at 229-460-2331.
You're listening to The Good Outdoors with Steve, Darrell, and Ronnie on 99.5 Kicks Country. Now, let's get back to the fun.
Welcome back to The Good Outdoors. As we were going to the break, I was talking about a beer ad. Samuel Adams, everybody knows what a Samuel Adams beer is. You've seen commercials, seen it in the stores probably. Even if you're not a beer drinker, you probably are familiar with it. But the ad runs and it says, "Why name a beer after Samuel Adams?" It quotes the Declaration of Independence, but omits a portion that references God.
Really?
All men are created equal, that they are endowed with certain inalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the actor in the ad states. The actual document reads that all men are created equally, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. So they left out the reference to God there.
I will never, ever drink. I haven't yet, and will never drink the Samuel Adams.
Well, I think they may be making a change here. Samuel Adams' Facebook page has been bombarded with positive and negative comments over the ad. The company reportedly issued a statement acknowledging it was an intentional omission and noting that the decision is in line with industry guidelines. The Beer Institute Advertising Code says beer advertising and marketing materials should not include religion or religious themes. We agree with that and try to adhere to these guidelines. While we understand your objection to the omission of the phrase "by our Creator" in other circumstances, after all, they occur in the Declaration of Independence, which Samuel Adams signed and helped author, we believe it would be outside our industry guidelines to invoke those religious words in a beer commercial. So, having heard the explanation there, it's not that they wanted to omit it because of any kind of a religious stance there. They felt like it would be possibly in violation of the guidelines set forth by the Beer Institute Advertising Code, which that's who we ought to be mad at, I guess. But to be on the safe side, I'm not buying Samuel Adams beer.
But wait a minute. You're going to take a quote now. You're quoting a quote. This is what I have a problem with, and you're taking words out of it, so therefore you're not quoting a quote anymore. So something's wrong with that. But no, I've never drank Samuel Adams, and I never will until that stance has changed. I guarantee that is not right.
I've always liked their commercials. I've never took a sip of it, and probably never will for sure now. But I don't know. I mean, I can see their logic there. But at the same time, if that's the case, then why not just figure out another ad campaign and forget the whole thing? So, I don't know.
Yeah, they ought to just do something different. We were talking about Wolverines a few minutes ago, and I wanted to, in case people out there don't understand just how powerful Wolverines are, it says, armed with powerful jaws, sharp claws, and a thick hide, Wolverines are remarkably strong for their size. They may defend kills against larger or more numerous predators such as wolves or bears. At least one account reported a 12-pound Wolverine's apparent attempt to steal a kill from a black bear, although the bear won what was ultimately a fatal contest. In another account, a Wolverine attacked a polar bear, and the polar bear is the largest bear out there.
And the Wolverine's 12 pounds.
Yep, 12 pounds, and it clung to its throat until the bear suffocated. Can you believe that's how mean, just a distemper, these suckers are just terrible. And while Wolverines have dominated wolves in competitions over a carcass, some wolves actually have gone to where they, actually, the wolves hunt the Wolverines now. They get in packs and actually hunt them, and they've adapted to killing them. But Wolverine's a tough little sucker now.
You don't want to mess with no Wolverine.
No, you don't. And
I got a little Wolverine in me.
And speaking of that, Chuck texted me a while ago and said, "Hey, Wolverine's actually got a new movie coming out," and he does. The Wolverine, I guess trilogy or whatever it would be from the movies.
Wolverine don't want none of me.
Yeah, he's a bad man. He's got another movie coming out. I agree with that. That's going to be a good one.
Hugh Jackman.
Yes, sir. Well, he's something, ain't he?
I guess so. That's another one of them that I just have not seen. So I don't know.
What's the name? Darrell, help me out. What's the name of the movie?
Transformers or something like that. X-Men.
X-Men.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't think of it.
And they actually came out with one more. It was actually just Wolverine.
Yeah, they another one's coming out right now. We're here pretty soon.
Oh, they keep twisting them all up. I can't keep up with them.
Have you seen the tropical storm out there, Steve? Tropical storm.
I haven't looked at it since yesterday.
Yes, they still have it on track to coming in right around Jacksonville, is what I'm looking at now. But as not a very strong storm, and not a very formed storm, but could be some rain on towards the first of next week, I believe, is what they're calling for it. So. And to keep your eyes and ears on that one.
That's just what we need is some more rain.
Yeah, I know. We've got plenty of rain now.
Yeah, we got it yesterday.
Last night.
I was thinking, laying there last night, I was thinking, the question is when you get up in the morning, you used to think, was it going to rain today? Well, I think the question anymore is when and how much.
Is the sun going to shine all day?
Yeah,
that's
right.
Now.
That's right.
Yeah, we got it at the house last night. It thundered around yesterday and went around us, and then it hit us last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we've had enough. My grass, man, is unbelievable.
I could literally cut mine every 5 days. I think now.
I think I could too, and I get mine cut every 2 weeks. So if anybody out there has their own lawn care business and looking for a little extra business in Lake Park, give me a call. Look me up. May be able to hook you up with some business.
How about this right here now? You get up one day and you think, I want to buy me some dogs. I want to get me some pets here. So you decide for whatever reason you want to buy toy poodles. Okay.
Toy poodle, yeah.
So you go somewhere. Yeah. So you go somewhere and you buy the toy poodles and you get them home, only to discover that they're actually ferrets on steroids.
Are you kidding me?
An Argentine man who thought he bought a pair of poodles at an outdoor flea market in Buenos Aires brought them to the vet, only to be told they were actually ferrets on steroids.
I don't understand how he can mistake a dog for a ferret.
Well, I can when you see the picture, and that's something you can't in radio line, but he looks like a toy poodle. The veterinarian informed him the ferrets had been given steroids at birth to increase their size, and then had some extra grooming to make their coats resemble a fluffy toy poodle. The paper says, translating a report from a local Argentine TV station, he paid $150 per poodle. Another woman interviewed by the station said she was tricked into thinking she had purchased a Chihuahua at the same market. It's unclear what the duped pet owners did with their faux poodles, but if you're thinking about buying a poodle at an Argentine flea market, the Daily Mail has a handy guide on how to tell whether the poodle you're purchasing is actually a ferret. Oh, now, that right there might be the strangest thing.
I see the picture you're talking about. I mean, yeah, I guess you could.
Yep.
Wow.
Never seen a ferret that fluffy, have you?
I ain't never seen one that
fluffy.
That
was a lot of upkeep with that hair.
Weird. Oh, man. Hey, we're going to take another break here. Be right back in about 3 minutes, guys. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Wow, look at Bob trimming the grass. He's so fast.
I know, and that mower is so big.
And it's got a huge deck.
And it cuts the long grass with deep roots so easily.
Yeah, Bob's a bad boy.
When you want to cut grass like a champion, get yourself a Bad Boy mower from Nashville Tractor. Nashville Tractor carries an exclusive line of Bad Boy zero-turn mowers. See them now at Nashville Tractor in Valdosta and in Nashville.
Quitman, Georgia, and antiques go hand in hand. Tammy's Antiques and Consignment, located at 211 East Screven Street in Quitman, is a traditional Southern antique shop with a little twist, offering a consignment program that fits like a glove in the spacious downtown shop. But the real twist is Zumba. That's right, Tammy also offers Zumba fitness classes as well as tanning. Come by and check out the literally thousands of items upstairs and down. And if you have an item that you want Tammy to sell, bring it in. That's Tammy's Antiques and Consignment, 211 East Screven Street, Quitman, or give Tammy a call at 229-506-9146.
Attention Outdoor Nation. Adel Outfitters, located at exit 39 on I-75 in Adel, Georgia, has over 18,000 square feet of outdoor unbelievability just waiting on you. Specializing in a wide range of outdoor supplies for everyone, including hunting, fishing, shooting, kayaking, camping, little league, clothing, knives, boots, you name it, Adel Outfitters has it. They also have that personal one-on-one attention that you just might not be getting from some of the big boxes, and Adel Outfitters has a whole lot less overhead, so you'll be surprised at the deals. So come see us now at Adel Outfitters, exit 39, Adel, Georgia. Woo-wee! Sweet Tea Smokehouse on South Hutchinson Avenue, Adel is the bomb. You ain't had good old South Georgia barbecue if you ain't been to Sweet Tea Smokehouse. Ribs, chicken, pork, beef, good grief, this is some fine eating. And it ain't called Sweet Teas for nothing. Ice cold sweet tea and good old barbecue plate with all the trimmings is what living in the South is all about. Head up Highway 41 north towards Adel. Swing into Sweet Tea Smokehouse for lunch or dinner. Great southern barbecue like it's supposed to be. And don't forget some of that fine Brunswick stew. Woo-wee! Jones Welding and Industrial Supply has been serving South Georgia and North Florida for over 3 decades. With 9 locations in the South, Jones Welding and Industrial Supply is a full-line distributor for all welding and industrial supplies. The Jones mission is to provide quality products at a competitive price in order to supply the best service available. Jones Welding and Industrial Supply has built a reputation for good, honest, old-fashioned service. For a location near you, visit www.joneswelding.com. Jones Welding and Industrial Supply is a proud supporter of the Good Outdoors. Service. It's a very simple word, but you'd think it's French. At Deep South Sanitation, our service will never be questioned. We are there when we say we'll be there. If there's a couple extra bags by the can, we pick it up. Deep South Sanitation don't care if the lid won't close. All the more reason to dump it. If you're elderly or disabled, the Deep South Sanitation team will get your can, dump it, and put it back. If trash blew out, we don't leave it, we pick it up. Keep the money you pay for sanitation services local by supporting Deep South Sanitation, a locally owned business. Call Carrie Scarborough today at Deep South Sanitation, 229-559-0200.
You're listening to The Good Outdoors with Steve, Darrell, and Ronnie on 99.5 Kicks Country. Now, let's get back to the fun.
Woo! The Good Outdoors. I don't know what y'all's conversation was, but I know it was getting pretty good because I was on the phone, so excuse me. But
we were learning something.
Oh, yeah,
and a good discussion.
Never too old to learn, huh?
Well, we were talking about the Trayvon Martin case and absolutely crushing testimony yesterday from the medical examiner who just blew the case out of the water. I mean, unless there's just some illegal payoff or something, there's absolutely no way that George Zimmerman is going to be convicted of second-degree murder because the medical examiner proved beyond the shadow of a doubt, both sides acknowledging that he is an expert in his field, he single-handedly blew away the prosecution's claim that George Zimmerman was on top of Trayvon Martin. It was actually the other way around, and beyond the shadow of a doubt. I mean, beyond reasonable doubt, I should say. And there's absolutely no way. I mean, you had the jurors in the jury box shaking their head yes. I mean, so if I was the defense, I would take the bold move I'd go ahead and rest the case right now and send it to the jury, and I believe that the verdict would be out within 24 hours. He's going to be, and Darrell and I were discussing, were there, who did wrong or whatever, and what was wrong and what happened, and should he done this. The bottom line, at my point, was that none of that matters. He's charged with second-degree murder, and the bottom line is he did not commit second-degree murder. You can argue all day long, should he have chased him? Should he have done this? Should he have listened to the 911 operator? Who cares?
There's hundreds of things you could say he did wrong or the other one did wrong in every single case out there. But
the bottom line is he's charged with second-degree murder, and he did not commit second-degree murder. Now, that's what he's charged with, and that's all we got to go by.
That's right.
If he was charged with that along with assault or being an idiot or whatever, but that ain't. He's charged with second-degree murder, and the jury's only choice is to decide, did he commit second-degrry murder? And he didn't.
Well, I'm saying it comes down to, what do they classify second-degree murder? That's where I'm maybe my area is I don't understand that completely. Because from what you're saying, if he was on top, he was on the bottom at the time of the shooting, yes, but I'm still wondering, where's what happened before that even happened?
You'd have to. Yeah, I mean, but what happened before that ain't on trial. That's the whole thing.
That comes down to what is, second-degree murder. What does that, kind of stand for? Or stand, you know, what are they trying to prove when it
Darrell's
comes
got
down
the
to it?
definition pulled up.
Second-degree murder is ordinarily defined as 1, an intentional killing that is not premeditated or planned, nor committed in a reasonable heat of passion, or number 2, a killing caused by dangerous conduct and the offender's obvious lack of concern for human life. Second-degree murder may be best viewed as the middle ground between first-degree and voluntary manslaughter.
So obviously, the thing is,
he didn't
Zimmerman,
intentionally kill him.
He didn't intentionally kill him to get him off of him, and that's not what second-degree murder is.
And he didn't have a lack of concern for human life.
No.
So you know, you're right. From my interpretation of that, is you can't.
It pretty much came down to he followed and went to go question. A big scuffle happened. The gun came out, and someone got killed.
This is the way I look at it, and this is just my opinion. George Zimmerman was a member of Neighborhood Watch. He was a leader of that Neighborhood Watch. He had a reason to be there. All right, stop it right there. Trayvon Martin had no business being where he was at. Video shows he was just at a store. He was high by many accounts. He had
I'd have to argue on that one. Because they're saying it was a small amount.
It doesn't matter how much it was.
It's illegal drugs.
He had it. It was illegal. So he had a history. He shouldn't have even been out by his parents' own testimony. He shouldn't have been there. So the bottom line to me is Zimmerman should have been there. Martin didn't have no business there. Okay, that's fact number one.
So you're saying he doesn't have the right to go to
the
store?
I did not say he had the right.
You just said he shouldn't be there.
He shouldn't have.
Why not?
His parents said he shouldn't have. His own parents said he shouldn't have been.
But why?
Because they're his parents, and they
the rule was he should have been at home in the bed.
Yeah, he should have by his parents.
Okay, so he shouldn't have been there. That's point number one. Throw that out the window. He was at a store, high, by testimony of the clerk, by the fact that the coroner's report showed he had marijuana in his system, which is illegal. So all this wrapped into one. He shouldn't have been there, but throw that out the window. Throw that out the window. He was on top of Zimmerman by medical examiner's report.
At the time of the shooting.
At the time of the shooting.
That's the only thing that we know of is at that time.
And that's a fact. So that throws out the prosecution's claim that Zimmerman tried to kill him by second-degree murder.
Oh, I agree with you on that
one.
He
defended himself.
He didn't do it intentionally. So I would come down to is if he would have listened at one time, just kind of paused a little bit.
If he'd have been home in bed, this wouldn't have happened.
That's right.
If he'd have been home where he should have been, if he'd have been a hunter or a fisherman or somebody that had something to do constructive with their life, he wouldn't have been there.
If they had no need to have a friggin' neighborhood watch in the first place, neither one of them would have been there. Now, back to some good outdoor stuff. GunMap newsmaker seeks more into info on firearms owners. So we're going to talk about that after we take this call real quick. Good morning, you on the Good Outdoors.
Good morning, guys. How y'all doing today?
Good,
we're doing good.
You?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Just blessed by the best.
You ain't kidding, son.
Hey, I'm just going to put my 2 cents worth in on what y'all talking about. I ain't going to charge nothing, but, you know, what's scary about all this is I remember when it first took place, you know, they were ready to lynch that man. They were ready to lynch him.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
That's why the prosecutor has charged him like they charged him, because they were afraid of what, that family or the violence was going to take place.
And who do we have to blame for that is the dang media. That's exactly right. Who we have to blame for that, the way they portrayed the case and the way they took it out there and put it out to the public.
That's exactly right. But I thought about that when I was listening to that medical examiner yesterday, and I said, they were ready to lynch this man. And I mean, this is what's caused all this. Now, he's had to pay for an attorney and all that. I'll tell you something else. I don't believe the man will be able to